Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be an influencer? Maybe you've daydreamed about the luxurious life fashion influencers live and have wondered to yourself what it would be like. What might it take for you to get there? If you're an influencer or ever dreamed to be an influencer, then this video and this book is for you. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can see by the title of the video, today we're doing everything influencer. Yes, so we're gonna be discussing exactly what is an influencer, what makes you an influencer, how you deserve that title, and how do they make money? What does it take to be an influencer? What happens behind all those glamorous pictures on Instagram? And that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll be discussing mainly the book written by Kefilwe Mabote herself, the queen of influencing. So this is a book written by Kefilwe Mabote, influencer Dilo, from Soweto to Milan, and she was assisted by Mr. Lebo Grant in writing this amazing book. So who is Kefilwe Mabote? I'm just gonna read that from her book. Kefilwe is a multi-award-winning fashion influencer born and bred in Soweto, South Africa. Her brand is about distinguished luxury, from exclusive styling service to the digital influencing side. Her mission is to leave a global footprint throughout her digital and styling career. To learn more about Kefilwe, visit www.kefilwemabote.com or Kefilwe_Mabote on Instagram. This woman has 1.1 million followers. This is huge, she's a big deal. In this book, Kefilwe shares with us what it really means to be an influencer, how to build your brand, and how to monetize your Instagram account, how to make money out of influencing. It's all in this book. And what I love is she gives you very practical and realistic tools and tips that will definitely give you the results if you commit it. So it's very easy, relatable, easy to follow. The tips are doable. You just need consistency and commitment and you will reach it. Before I start reviewing the book, there's a message from Kefilwe that I want to read to you. If you are an influencer or dream to be an influencer, or even if you're an entrepreneur, listen. She says, I pray and hope that this book gets you fired up and ready to live your life as a winner. As you read it, think of me as your cheerleader. I want to cheer on you as you chase whatever dream you have until you achieve it. You can do it, black child, or any other race you may be. I believe in you, Abash. One thing for sure is this book left me fired up, and I think you don't need to be an influencer to read this book. If you're an entrepreneur, whatever tips she has here about branding and working with companies, how to stay relevant, actually, so it applies to you. If you're a hustler, learn from hustlers, man. Like, this book, she is the girl she thinks she is. But anyways, let's get straight into what this book has and what it has for you. So this book is structured into 4 parts. The first part is her autobiography. This is how her passion started, just her mental process throughout her journey. And the second part is the business side, how to make money now. And then the third part is the domestic side of Kefilwe at home, as a mother, as a daughter, and how she makes her home feel warm. And then lastly, it's Kefilwe's highlights in her career, the biggest highlights in her career. And let's go. Okay, so I'm not gonna dish out everything, but I'll just give you my the highlights that I loved from each part of her book. So firstly, her autobiography. As we all heard, Kefilwe was born and bred in Soweto. She was a humble a township girl. She's a simple township girl, but the minute she was introduced to Instagram by her friends, this was in 2013, and she's saying that this is the time where influencing wasn't even a word, you know, and whereas at the time people were misjudging it to think that, you know, because you like finer things, it means you're materialistic, or that your life is sponsored by a rich older man, or that you like money, or that you're shallow and lazy, you want the easy way out to life. And she wrote this book with the intention to clarify all of that. And I can imagine how it was back then, you know, who is this lady flashing Louis Vuittons and all of that? Where did she get the money? How is she securing Prada? It didn't make sense. But what I love is she persevered. She did the things that not any South African woman did at the time, that no one understood at the time. No one understood what she was doing, but look at her now, you know. And it proves that the things you're passionate about are not random. They are your calling, and it doesn't need to make sense to anyone. That dream was planted in your heart for a reason. So hold on to it and prove them wrong. Okay, so two amazing things that I really loved from her autobiography was, firstly, the reason behind her success, what was driving her, and it was anger. Anger. Yeah, it's weird, but let's like hear her out. So Kefilwe was bullied from her childhood. There was a misconception that because she was pretty, people thought she was an airhead. You know, that pretty girls are not that smart. She's shallow. And that really annoyed her. And all that negative talk, the fact that she was flashing luxurious brands, people thought that she fell under this profile, a blesser profile, and people underestimated her capabilities and intelligence. And all of that negative talk and the bullying brought out anger in her, but she used that anger and put it back into focusing on herself and her career. That was her drive. So her drive was to prove all those people who were undermining her that she can do it despite it all. And she was talking about how we live in a society where women are put in a small box with limitation, or that's all you can do, this is where you belong. But she wanted to break that norm. She wanted to prove them wrong. Bullying and the negative talk really created anger in her. This is how she explains the whole anger concept and using it as a drive. She said the things that tick you off, do so because you care so deeply about them. And she believes that that's where your deepest wishes and desires lie. And it's the same thing that God will use to reveal your true potential and your true purpose. And it's very powerful. And she says, let me just read this out. Don't let your anger lead you into sin. I believe this can be translated as, do not let anger sabotage your efforts towards whatever you want to achieve. What you can do is take the bad energy of people who want you to fail and use it to prove them wrong. I learned in school that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be molded from one form to another. It makes sense. There's a reason why you bounce back hard after each and every setback, because from each setback you tell yourself, I don't want to be in this position anymore. I don't want to be poor anymore. I don't want to be average anymore. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to live and secure bags. So that drives you, that I don't want to be in this situation anymore. That is your fire. And if you use it correctly, it can help you reach whatever you want to achieve. Well, another segment from her autobiography that I love was that you should claim the woman you want to become. You don't become what you want, but you become what you believe. So in her journey, this is the tips that she gives to all the young ladies out there. One, be an ever evolving woman. Always have growth in your life. Secondly, be a confident woman who has a voice and is not afraid to use it. Lastly, be a super sexy businesswoman. Hello, yes. And this is what she's trying to say, that looks matter. Awaken the beautiful, strong, and confident in woman who is lying dormant within you right now. And her being an image consultant, she stresses how looks matter. Looks are important. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Always look classy, always look fabulous, sit confidently, and that's how you take yourself seriously, and that is how people are gonna take you seriously. What I love: independent woman, securing your own bag, being confident, being beautiful, that you can have it all. You can be a 9 to 5 person, you can be a career woman, you can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can have it, whatever you want, you can have it all. Your health is in order. I have an idea of the woman I want to be, and I already know what I have to do to be that woman. She talks about that. Ask yourself, the woman you want to be. Ask yourself, what do people think when they look at that woman? What does that woman do? What habits do you have to do now in order to be that woman? So what I'm trying to say is, I always thought that women empowerment, for me, having my own money, securing my own bag, being independent and not needing anyone. And that's how I would feel powerful. That's what would make me feel powerful. But as of recently, I looked at fashion. I actually reached out to a local fashion influencer. We had a conversation that I was telling her how her work is inspiring me to be confident and to feel good about myself, to feel powerful. And I never thought that fashion would do that. I appreciate fashion, but I never thought that it can also add into me feeling empowered. It's not just about having your own money, but also how you look, having those heels, your Aldo handbag, good hair, silk on your skin also contributes to just you as a woman, and it makes me embrace my femininity. That's the beauty of being a woman. So yes, your image matters. She stresses that. She gets frustrated when she sees women who just look like they just pulled out a t-shirt and put it on and didn't even care. It's like, no, appreciate your body. Wear what suits you. She even talks about the different type of bodies that women have, and you should need to know where you fall and what suits you, what color suits you, your skin tone, what does it need. So there's a lot to it, and she explains that section because I think that's where her expertise lies. $1 million question: what is an influencer? So the word influencer, we see it almost every single day, but what I wanted to do was to really understand this concept of what is an influencer. Is it about numbers? Is it about being a celebrity, or what? And Kefilwe's book really clarifies everything. It breaks down every misconception that you have right now. What you're thinking is probably wrong. So yes, let's go. An influencer is an individual who has the power to affect the purchasing decisions of others because of his or her authority, knowledge, position, or relationship with her audience. Influencing can be anything you want. Photography, it could be food, it could be fitness, it could be books. It's just you having that influence on your audience and your people and having that engagement. Or you have the power to convince them to try a product or not. That's what an influencer does, and that's what an influencer basically is. And actually 4 types of influencers. I didn't know this. The first type is the mega influencers. These are your celebrities, your actors, your TV presenters, your sports persons, your artists, Justin Bieber, Beyonce, you name them. And then you have your macro influencers. These are people who have established a name for themselves. They're a brand themselves, and they have a number of 1 million followers going up. And then you have micro influencers. They fall between 10,000 to 100,000 followers. And then you have the nano influencers. These are people who have followers 10,000 below. And this is according to Kefilwe's information. So even with that category of influencers, she also takes a step further to clarify that because you're a celebrity, it doesn't mean you're an influencer. And also, it's not about the numbers. Just you having 50,000 followers or 20,000 followers or 1 million followers, it doesn't mean you are an influencer. So she says the core of influencing, of you being an influencer, is having an audience and having engagement with that audience. That the currency of social media is engagement. That's what brands are looking for, you know, that's the way marketing lies. Distinction that she draws between celebrities and an influencer is that, for example, Beyonce. If a marketing brand wants Beyonce, all they need is her face there. But comparing that to when they use an influencer, influencer goes a step further. They're more creative with the product and they have that flexibility and they have more interactions with followers, right, with ordinary people versus Beyonce. What are the chances of Beyonce interacting with you about a certain perfume and all? So there's a lot of information that she gives about what an influencer is, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse, you know. Already you have an idea. The next segment is on tips, right? Your brands, how to negotiate, how to deal with haters, and how to make money. So let's tap into the branding part. So the thing on branding is, the trick is to find what you're passionate about, what comes easily to you that other people struggle with. That is you finding your niche. That's what she describes it. Find your niche. It determines your followers, it determines your audience, and it determines where you're gonna end up in the long run. So first of all, Kefilwe focuses on Instagram because that's what she does. How to turn your Instagram profile into a business. How do you make money from it? And so if you're not an Instagram person, this wouldn't relate much to you, but I feel like there's still so much gold that you can pick up, be it if you're just an entrepreneur, there's so much you can learn from this, or if you're just working on YouTube also, there's things that you can pick and apply to yourself, the things that I'm like eager to apply to myself with my YouTube channel. And it also encouraged me to like take my Instagram seriously because, you know, platforms are interlinked. And the second tip is negotiations. Being able to negotiate a fair and realistic price between the influencer and the brand. This is that you need to know your worth, because if you don't, brands take advantage of that. They are just going to give you free products when in fact, you know, the return value that you're giving the term is worth so much more. But also, if you're a startup person, there's no reason for you to be putting up unrealistic prices. For more details, check out on the book. Go buy the book. So another tip is to reach out to brands for collaboration. I know it's scary, but the worst thing that could happen is for them to turn you down and you really lose nothing. Also, she talks about how don't be put down if a brand rejects you. Sometimes you need to put yourself into the shoes of the brand, you know. She has a list in the book that brands look at when a person reaches out to them. This book is very helpful. Like if you're an influencer and you want to be an influencer, you want to take it seriously, this is your holy grail. Honestly, like this is your go-to book. It has everything that you could be looking for. So a message that she has for startup influencers out there is don't put so much pressure on yourself. Put pressure on yourself buying these expensive bags because Kefilwe Mabote did so when you don't really know she got those for free. This drives me to the next topic, which is the perks of working with big brands. The perks of being an influencer. Kefilwe says she can't remember the last time she bought lipstick or cosmetic because she's always getting those from her brands that she's working with. and she gets so many of them that she gives some to her mother. Like, can you imagine? So, but well. And also she says it's not about the money, it's also about you being creative and creating a long relationship with yourself with the brand. And she says when you do what you love, you don't worry about being irrelevant, because you know you are naturally able to find new, creative and authentic ways of making an impact. So it's not just about the money, it's not just about having 1,000 followers, it's about you appreciating what you do and knowing that, you know what, I'm putting quality in this is the best that I can, but I'm also open to learning more. Yeah, don't worry about being irrelevant, the right followers will come to you. Ooh, actually, on that point, I just remember there's something that she spoke about followers, that never buy followers. If you really love what you do, let the right people come to you. Like, in the long run, you're gonna look back and say, you know what, these are the people that were genuinely drawn into what I'm putting out there. It's not just for influencers. I feel like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're not an Instagram person but you're a YouTuber, or you're into Facebook, or you're into podcasts, you know, it could be very useful for you. Okay, so what do I think about this book? It's amazing, and I feel like she wanted to clarify misconceptions around being an influencer, working with brands, you know, and she did a great job. After reading this, you're gonna respect the career. It's a career, you know, like she said, it's one of the fastest growing industries. It's fairly new, you know, people are still learning about it, but it's a career. You know, times have changed. The millennials nowadays don't look up to working for someone else. They want to create a brand for themselves. They want to work from themselves. And what I love about this book, it's very easy. Like, the language she uses, it's like having a conversation with her. Honestly, it's very easy. The chapters are not too long. The thing that I love about the book is it has pictures of her in different shoots, different places. So it's a good breaker. You know, just take a moment to look at who Kefilwe is, her amazing work. And the book, generally the book, I love the book. It's not too big. If you're looking for a quick read, then this is the one for you. If you're not a reader, this is the one for you. The texture is very, I love the cover. It's so classy, you know, powerful woman, and yeah, like, I love the color. It's very Kefilwe. If you know her, you know what I'm talking about. I got this book from Exclusive Books Botswana, and it costs 191 pula. So if you loved it, go and fetch it. Guys, so that was me on influencers, influencing, how they make money, and on Kefilwe Mabote. Thank you so much, Kefilwe, from this book. I am manifesting the fact that you're gonna watch my video. So yes, Kefilwe, thank you so much for this book. You're very, very inspiring. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. So if you're an influencer, please do comment below and discuss with us and interact, teach us more. I'm still fairly new into content creation, so I don't know much about generally how Botswana influencers make money. How is it in reality? Is it good? Is it lucrative in Botswana as compared to other countries, or what? So I can't give out the proper statistics from my personal experience. But if you're an influencer, I hope you do a video on that, or please comment below and just shed some light on what the reality is on the ground. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, like, and share the link. Yeah, support a girl, and see you next time. Bye.